Castle here, and we're going to learn how to print. Got your block and it's all carved and everything. When we start printing, especially when you haven't printed with your block before, those are called artist's proofs. Printmakers use those to make sure that their print is going to be exactly how they want it to be. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. But basic printing process. When you're getting ready to print, you have a tube of ink, and ink is the substance that we are going to use to apply to the surface of the block. The print is the art. The block is a means to make the art, and the ink is paired with the block to make the art. So anyway, when you put out ink, you're going to put out about an inch worth of ink. Always put the cap back on so it doesn't ooze all over. And then you're going to need a brayer. And a brayer is a soft rubber brayer. We use it to apply ink to the block. It does roll, but it is not called a roller, so don't ask me for a roller. Anyway, okay. When we spread the ink, you roll across it, and notice I have a box drawn out, and this is about the size of my brayer each, up and down and side to side. And I am rolling it out. I'm pulling back, lifting and going to the top. And then I'm going to do the same thing the other direction. And this is going to help spread the ink evenly. And stay inside the box. The more you spread out the ink, the quicker it's going to dry out, and some of the ink is rather dry to begin with, so we don't have forever to play around. So once I get ink evenly spread on my brayer, I'm going to apply it in the same way to my block. Go that way. I'm going to go that way a little bit to get my ink everywhere, and I'm going to do the same thing on my block. Might be easier to go this way. And don't drag your knuckles across it like I just did. Okay. Then when I'm done with my brayer, don't put the handle down in the ink. Always lay the brayer on its back. I've got my block, and we're going to step over here, and the next station is where we are going to put templates around so that you can line everything up. And I'm going to center my block in the middle of my template, and I'm going to put my name and period on my paper with pencil. Don't use markers, especially don't use Sharpies. Okay, and my name is facing up. I know I'm doing it right if my name is facing up. Take the time to slow down and take your time to slow down and make a good print. Notice I rubbed on it a little bit. I did not punch with my knuckles. I didn't press really hard. I just rubbed it lightly to get the paper to stick. Next, we're going to go to the press, put the block through the press. We need to learn some vocabulary and some parts of our press. So hang on just a minute. The parts of the press that you need to know about. First part is the bed of the press, and that's this metal piece down here. And it has some paper on it and stuff like that to help keep it clean. But this is the bed of the press, and this is where your block is going to sit. And these things on top are blankets. And there's a very thin one, a medium one, and a much thicker, squishier one. These go on top of your paper and your block, okay? And this is the handle, and you're going to turn it and if my hand is going over this way, the bed goes this way, and the bed can also go back this way. That's how you roll your block through the press, by turning the handle. Under here are some adjusters for the pressure that the roller, here's the roller. The adjusters under here adjust the pressure that the rollers are applying to the blankets and your block as you run it through. Never play with these. There's no reason for you to. If it needs adjusting, I will do that, okay? When you're ready to put your print through the press, whichever end the bed is on, mostly that's the end to use. So I'm going to lift up and I'm going to put paper up, block on the bottom, into the press. I'm going to turn the crank till I feel the roller release, and then I pull it out on the other side. And here's the exciting part. You pull the paper off and there's your print. Now, that's rather pale. I did let it sit for a little bit while I was showing you about the press, but that is our basic print process. We'll do it one more time to review. This ink is a little bit dried out, so I'm going to need a little bit more ink, about an inch of ink. Put the cap back on the ink. Have my brayer, roll, lift and put it back down, lift and put it back down. And I'm going to do the same thing to my block. Lay my brayer on its back. Come over to the paper station. Paper is never at the inking station. It always stays where we're pairing paper with your block. Name facing up. Lining up my paper gently, sticking the paper to my block. My bed is on this side. I'm putting my paper in the press, or my paper in my block in my press towards the middle, not way out here. You won't get it all the way through if it's way down here. Put it way up by the roller. Turn the handle. Take my block out and peel the print off. Oops, don't put that there. Ta-da! Much better print than our first one. After you are done with your first couple of prints, you are going to write on it in the middle of the bottom, AP. AP means artist proof. We label it that until we know the print is right and it looks just exactly like you wanted it to. When I first printed with my block, this part down here had a lot more of those little marks, and some of the areas in between my close together dark lines were too close together and ink was getting in there and it was just not looking pretty. I went back and I carved those areas out. After you carve those areas out a little bit more, then you're going to print again and see how it looks. If you like it, you're done with artist proofs, then you can start printing regular prints. I want you to print some black and then you can start printing with colors. Black is traditional. Now, what do you do with your prints? Let's see if we can come over here. We're going to take our prints immediately over to the drying rack. And oh look, there is my first available open shelf. I'm going to put my prints towards the back and then I'm ready to go make some more prints.